I've come here today with Alan Scotthorne to Kingsbury Water Park to put the latest addition to the Acolyte feeder rod family through its paces. The new Acolyte Distance Feeder 13 foot. It's been extensively tested over the last 2 years in this country, various places and in Ireland. And for the last 2 years I've been using it in Ireland with great success. It's got quite a few key features. First being is it's a 3-piece rod with a longer butt section. There's a good reason for this. This allows you to put the first ring a long way from the reel. This reduces friction, enables you to cast to greater distances, which is what this rod's all about. It also doubles up as a great feeder rod for fishing big rivers like the Trent and the Y7, places like that. It's capable of casting up to 90-100 metres with weights of up to 100 grams, but it still retains the softness that you'd like to have. A lot of the distance rods I've used over the years, they've been great for casting but not good for playing fish. This one's got both. It's great for casting and it's kept its sensitivity, which allows you to play fish, soft mouth skimmers, you know, you have no problem, you're not going to pull off on them. Well, I've had a great start here this morning at Kingsbury, fishing about 80 metres out. I've had half a dozen bream up to £6 and some skimmers. So I'm going to have a little bit of a rest now and go and see how Alan's getting on. How's it going, Al?
Rod's performing well, me not.
Yeah, the rod is absolutely spot on.
Yeah.
Like we've already said, it's been in development for a couple of years now, and you know it's been tweaked, and I think now it is absolutely bang on.
I think main thing with it, Steve, I think you know we've tested it against quite a lot of rods as well. I mean, rods in a probably higher price bracket than what this is, and it is a cracking piece of kit. I think the main thing is, all right, you know, it's a rod that's developed for chucking a long way. You can chuck, you know, up to probably 100 metres, maybe further. I think probably 100 metres accurately.
Yeah.
But it's also got the right action to play at fish, which is really, really important. I mean, when you're catching bream, if you've got rods that's too stiff, we just know that you know, you're likely to pull hook out of fish, you know, winding them in. You want a rod with some action in it.
Yeah.
And that's what we've tried to achieve. I mean, you've used these rods, you know, loads of times in Ireland, catching roach and bream, big roach and bream.
Yeah. And even with braid, you know, with it being surface braid, you know, it's vital you've got that bit of give in the rod, and it's, you know, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, in England, a lot of our waters are quite clear, and you know you've got to drop down in hook length slightly to catch fish. And you know, if you've got a rod that's a complete poker, all right, you can cast the distance, but actually catching the fish, it's very, very difficult.
Yeah. Too many fish lost at the net. Yeah,
I think looking at the tips, we've also got the tip sizes and ring sizes right now. I mean, you know, often you're fishing with braided line. I mean, I'm fishing with an 010 braid today, and that's got to pass through the rings. So having quiver tips with slightly bigger rings on helps you in the fact that the line passes through the rings very easily.
And the knot, if you're using the shock leader, which is important on this, again, on this sort of fishing.
I think other major thing that I probably didn't realise to start with, I mean, I've used, you know, rods in the past with lots of rings on, but when you actually look at carp rods have got lesser rings on than what we use because they cast a long way, they're fishing for big fish, and it's not necessary to have a vast amount of rings on the rod. So that's what we've done. We've cut down the amount of rings on the rod. The first ring, again, is important, that where it's actually situated on the rod. It's got to be away from the actual reel. I mean, if you look at carp rods, they're a long way from the reel because you're using much bigger reels.
It's all about reducing the friction, isn't it, on the cast?
That's exactly right, exactly right. So you've got bigger reels, you've got more turn of the line as it comes off. So that first ring needs to be away from the reel itself, otherwise you get that extra friction.
Yeah. And again, it's not just about distance fishing this rod, is it? I mean, it's ideal for fishing on some of these big rivers with big weights at short distance.
Yeah, I mean, you know, anywhere where you're catching, you know, barbel and bream on a river, it's perfect for that, because you've got, you know, a mellorish action that actually bends when you hook a fish. And of course, when you're catching big fish on a river, you need some action in rod as well. But today I've comfortably chucked about 80 metres without really forcing it, which is important. I mean, you know, we can, as anglers, we can probably chuck, I mean, 100, 120 yards.
Yeah, but you need to keep your accuracy, so you need to be able to do it comfortably, don't you? And that's what this rod brings to the table, really.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you know, 80 metres is a good chuck in my book, and you know, you've got to keep it accurate, otherwise you're just not going to get any bites. You've got to try and keep. I mean, I always think when you're fishing with braid, you're fishing almost a very, very tight area, because
yes,
you've got very little stretch in it.
Right, and now I'm going to go back and see if I can catch some more.
I'm sure you will now you've rested it a little.
I'll see you in a bit.
See you in a bit. Well, Steve, what a cracking day's fishing that's been. We've been using the new Acolyte 13-foot feeder rods, fishing at distances of 80 metres catching bream. And that's been a wonderful day's fishing, hasn't it, Steve?
Yeah, even under the conditions, it's been bright sunshine, flat calm, we've still had a great day and caught plenty of fish.